Everyone, and welcome to today's video. And today we've got two replays in the Conway, the tier 9 British tank destroyer, the other tier 9 British tank destroyer compared to the Tortoise. Now the Conway, I finished the grind on this a few days ago, and during the grind I used both guns on this tank, the 120mm and the 140mm, and the Conway was a project by the British when they realised that their 20-pounder armed Centurions weren't going to cut it anymore, and this is when the development of the Conqueror started. But then somebody in the British War Office decided to say, well, we need this 120mm now on a chassis that we can use, and there's loads of Centurions lying around. So a project was started to try and get the Centurion armed with a 120mm gun, and the result was this really cumbersome, big, and frankly quite unarmoured turret. And the 120mm gun on the Conway roller tanks, I can only say it as it makes it a mediocre Conqueror. Yes, it has 10 degrees of gun depression, but you trade all the armour, and frankly the gun handling on the Conqueror is a lot better as well. So yeah, basically this thing is a bad Conqueror with the 120mm. It does have a really good rate of fire compared to the Conqueror. That's the only advantage it has, and well, it doesn't matter what you do. If you set it on fire, every gun is lovely. And we managed to deal over 1,000 damage to that IS-4. That was lovely. So, how did I find the Conway when I was grinding the 64,000 experience that you need to unlock the 140mm? I must say I was not enjoying this tank. Let's be honest, you need a bit of armour at tier 9. And especially with this sort of play style, with quite frankly a very low alpha damage gun for tier 9 tank destroyers, and it's difficult to find scenarios to get this gun stinging. Honestly, you know, it takes a while for the damage to rake up, even though it's got a good rate of fire. It's just a case. It's a case of. It's just a case of getting this gun to work and not take too much damage in return, even though we're doing quite well on Muravanka and absorbing shells from our teammates. Now in this game I'm doing a mission. I've got to destroy 2 enemy heavy tanks and deal 3,000 hit points to them, and so far I'm doing alright. And that was a beautiful shot on that Object 430. Managed to track him right in the open and pick over 1,000 assistance damage on him. So next replay will feature the 140mm gun, and man, that 140mm gun, I won't mention it now, but it is quite something. So we're getting some good shots into the FV. Can we pick them up? No, our shell was in the air, but it wasn't fast enough. And this is when I start to tunnel vision a little bit, because I want that AE phase 1 and the Object 277. Remember, I've got to deal 3,000 hit points. Managed to pick up a cheeky kill steal on the Indian Panzer. So, and everyone, what do you think of my paint job on the Conway? I think it's personally absolutely excellent. Delivering a few Christmas presents in the form of 120mm shells. So this thing leads to the FE 4005, and I've got to be honest, I'm not too keen on that tank. Back in the day, only a couple of months ago to think of it, the FE4, or the shit barn, I was going to say it was quite a strong tank until Wargaming, unnecessarily in my opinion, just nerfed it into oblivion. So yeah, I was not keen to really get through this grind, but you know, with Christmas sales coming up, I want to buy as many tier 10s as I can this Christmas when they are all on sale. So I'm looking at my mission, and I've just got to kill this AE phase 1 now. Can I do it? What I'm doing here is quite bad. I'm holding the shell, spot him on the one shot, and take him. And you're about to see why I don't really like this thing. Well, no, actually, I forgot about this replay. Yeah, the gun handling on this tank sucks. The amount of fully aimed shots that I did miss with this gun whilst grinding the 140mm was quite frankly disgusting. So there's the 120mm gun on the Conway, or as I like to call it, the Media Conqueror, because it's just not special. So let's look at a replay of the 140mm. So here we are on Westfield with the stubby gun itself, the 140mm. Now, this gun was not put in the game. I must say, this gun was not put into the game when this tank came out. I suppose Wargaming realised that this whole line back in the day was just not very played very often, and they decided, let's take the Tier 7 Crusader self-propelled gun and put it on the Conway, and this Tiger P is not going to know what's about to hit him. That's 500 damage there. And some would argue this is a derp gun. I personally, it's a half derp if you ask me. It's too accurate. The aiming time is too low. Oh, the Scorpion. Yeah, the bit of troll factor of this gun. That shell went slightly too low and was absorbed by the tracks of the Scorpion. And this Tiger, he's... Oh, dude, you don't know what you're doing. What this Tiger should do is drive towards this Lerva and T30. What he's doing is allowing me to get almost unrestricted fire onto him. And, yeah, 2 shots and I've dealt over 1100 damage and he's down. T32. 580, the Lerva puts in another shot, but we're making quite effective trades here, let's be honest. Tiger P gets shut down again, and one thing I must add is that this thing also gets 10 degrees of gun depression, which means that this location on Westfield is possibly one of the best locations you can ever get in the Conway, and with this matchmaking is absolutely glorious. You are able just to poke over, deal 600 average damage to these guys, and just fall back and reload and do it all over again. And 600 to the T30. This gun was made for this tank. The idea... See, I love... My best play style were tanks. Are the tanks that with big guns and are very agile and very mobile. So, yeah, the Conway with a 140mm gun on a Centurion chassis. Yeah, you have no armour, but it doesn't matter too much when you are in a poking fight and you deal on average 600 average damage. It's just ludicrous. And as I was talking, the accuracy of this gun isn't actually that bad. It's something like 0.43 accuracy, which when you think about it isn't too bad, because accuracy in other tanks, it doesn't really matter that much, and the aim time is 2.4 seconds, which is nothing for a so-called derp gun. Can we pick up the Lerva? Yes. And also this thing gets 260mm of penetration, which just means that even though it gets Hesh rounds with 200 and 770 damage, this thing doesn't really need a premium pen rounds. So, and you're about to see some sniping with a 140mm gun, and we're aiming in on the Type 59. He's reversing, and we managed to pick up 600 damage on him. And we move out to see if we can get any more on these guys. And can we pick up this AMX? I think this is a really ambitious shot, but see if we can do it. I see the T-44. Yep, that one hit, slight low roll, but still done 570 damage to him. And this Challenger, he can give me some problems. He's got a very nasty 32-pounder gun. I'm sorry, what Challenger? That one was... That's just one of those shots you just say, Russia in a British tank, and it goes where you absolutely hit it. So yeah, this gun on this tank, I've got to be honest, I got through the grind in about less than 1 week because I love this gun so much. And just the punishment you can inflict on these guys, and I'm about to load a HESH round for this Scorpion G. What can we do? Absolutely nothing, as it turns out, because, well, I want to know where that shell is. I think that's the crater there. And I was praying that no one was going to shoot this Scorpion. But we cry every time, and he is picked up by our team. So the Conway with the 140mm. The Conway with the 140mm gun, absolutely ludicrous gun. And if you are ever to grind through the Conway, just using the 120mm, two questions I'll ask you. Why would you do that when you have to unlock this howitzer? And two, it's just so much more fun. So let's look at the post-game stats from both these games. So here we are for the Muravanka game. I've got to be honest, it wasn't an incredible replay. I just wanted to showcase it because I just wanted to talk about the 120mm, and I've got to be honest, this was the best game I had with the 120mm. I just could not get this gun singing because of the platform and the gun handling as well. It just wasn't, the gun handling that you take on with this tank isn't worth the alpha damage that you get in return. So we pick up 1000 base, make a little bit of profit, but because of loads of premium rounds fires, we didn't actually do too badly of a profit. And 10,000 experience, yeah, personal missions payout. This was during a ×5 event or something like that. Let's look at the Westfield game. So here we are for the results on Westfield. We pick up the Ace Tanker, and we rig the Brothers in Arms. We pick up the High Caliber. We deal 5,500 damage to the enemy team, and we pick up 1200 base. We actually managed to do over twice as much as the next highest member on our team and the enemy team, and this reflects because it was tier 7 matchmaking and there wasn't that much hit points to go around. And as you saw, I was feasting on those guys, shooting down on them from above with these big 140mm shells. And because you're technically only using standard ammo and only pay a stupid cost for the HESH rounds, you make a pretty decent profit as well. So this was during this weekend when we had the double XP, and I was running boosters, reserves, everything, and so I was also using the premium account missions. So that's my game in the Conway. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and just use, if you really want just a little fun tank for the tier 9 games, this is it. I had so much fun grinding this thing. And that's the video for today, guys. I hope you liked it. Give it a like, and I'll see you on the next one.